What's up, everybody? Big Blue Power Hour. Big win last week in Seattle. Hell of an ending to the game. What's going on, Evan?
No, I was going to shut my mouth, man, because every time I go against them, they win.
I think I actually picked them, but I don't think I picked them to win. I think I picked them to cover
You
this
picked
game.
them. I think you picked them to win. I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect with Neighbors out, but I thought the offensive line played well once again. I
the
thought DJ played
defense
well.
showed up.
Yeah, the defense really showed up, having 8 sacks. I thought, they lead the NFL in sacks, and I thought the pass rush, especially like what I noticed about the game was it was very situational. Like it was in the right situations that Bowen blitzed, and that's what I like about Bowen. He's a little more calculating when he blitzes instead of Wake Martindale like blitzing all out. I thought they did a great job on Metcalf. Um, they did a great job, against the run, but Seattle stopped running the ball for some reason. And you had a big game by Tyrone Tracy on offense. I thought he showed good vision, good patience. I like the way he sets up blocks, and Slayton came through.
Uh-huh.
Slayton had a big game. So it's definitely feels good to get a win. And I didn't necessarily think they were going to win this game. And I think it's a good bounce back by them, and they're prepared in all phases, even special teams. You had that, you know, that awesome block by Simmons and return by Ford Wheaton got the touchdown.
Yeah, your boy Ford
Yeah,
Wheaton.
it's the first time he's ever touched the ball, and that play was awesome. That's one of the best special teams plays. You know, one of the best teams I've seen the Giants make on special teams. To play wise, it was awesome. Awesome way to
Finally,
end the
good to
game.
have some fuckery go our way.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But you know, they lead the NFL in sacks. They're like the 11th ranked offensive line. Um, I think they've been doing a real good job. It's such a turnaround from last year, but it feels good to get a big win in Seattle. And they didn't have one false start penalty the whole game.
yeah. Shows discipline. Really
Yeah,
does.
it definitely shows discipline, and it just feels good to get a win. And we have we'll talk about the next game in a little bit, but you're gonna have a chance
Well,
to
well,
bring
if
it
you
to
look at it this
500.
way, one of my Seahawk friends, named Alex, he was like, "Hey man, good game. We've been playing like shit. We are injured, but fucking good game. Like that's a good ass, top play."
Yep.
I was like, I'm sitting here thinking about it. We're two penalties and a kicker from being 4-1.
Well, you think about it, you give me 4-1, and also the Singletary fumble. I think it was in the Washington game. That also could have made a difference. But you think about it, but they've been competitive in every game besides the Minnesota game,
Yeah,
and that's kind of what I like to see. But the NFL's a game of inches. You have to have a couple plays go your way. You know,
yeah,
to if you only you just get a touchdown versus Dallas, you win that football game. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I just, unfortunately, that's how it goes in the NFL. And, to get a win for Seattle, one of the better offenses in the league, I think, as well as they play, it gives them some confidence going into the next game. And, they're 2-3 and they could have been 1-4, but it sucks. You think about that, they could have been a 4-1 football team. And that's kind of how it's been for the Giants. You know what I'm saying? It's been like that for them.
I agree. Like I said, I thought them being they're the best 2-3 team right now. If you look at the teams they lost to, Washington head of the division. You have Dallas, a couple fuckery in that game, but it is what it is. And Minnesota, one of the best teams in the league.
Yep.
You know, it's not something you can be like, damn, I wish we can. Yeah, we were close in every one of those games except for Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. So
So
I'm just,
going through that, I like that Slayton stepped up. Once again, not seeing Hyatt on the field at this
yeah,
point. Use him or trade him.
yeah. I don't know. Like if you could get something for him. I mean, I like Hyatt, but I don't know why he's not involved. I don't know. Sorry about that. I don't know if he's like not picking up on things. Like if he's not picking up on, I really don't know what it is.
Yeah, I
I think a
understand.
lot. I think of a lot of it has to do with Neighbors, especially when Neighbors was in there. You're trying to the offense is going to go through him. I kind of expect it to. Do you know? Do you know what I'm saying? That's okay.
Yeah.
I can't really say why Hyatt is not involved. But in this game, it was good to finally see Theo Johnson get some,
I'll be right back.
get, you know, get some targets. And the tight ends, they weren't using the tight ends at all this year, and it was really nice to see them use their tight ends finally. And Theo Johnson had 5 catches for 48 yards, which is solid. Gray had the 3 for 50 and the 2 big screens early in the game because the first drive of the game they did screen and screen. Um, but Slayton played really well. I thought that um, you needed someone to step up in this game, and it's good to see Slayton finally step up, and that's why I like Slayton because he has. I think he has the best chemistry with Daniel Jones, and it was nice to see him have a really good game. And Jones has some really nice throws in this game to him. Like it's I don't know. I
Well,
thought
he went
played well.
across his body twice for a touchdown. He
Yeah,
went across his body to Robinson, and then Slayton on pretty much damn near the same play, just a little bit further out on the Slayton one.
yeah.
Went across his body. Tyrone Tracy, we called it. Let him get
I
into
like
that
him.
groove a couple times, and he's going to be a stud.
What I like about Tyrone Tracy, he's a very patient runner and he sets up his blocks.
Yes.
Like if you notice, there are a couple of plays where he drew the defense in and waited for the block and then cut outside.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about Tracy is he's got good vision, good patience, and I just like the way he runs the ball. And personally,
Gray
I
did
think
a
he
good
should.
job of that also, being more patient.
No, the fumble was killer. Like that fumble in the beginning
He
was
was
killer.
across the goal line. He relaxed his body. It got knocked out, and they counted it.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
don't
he was
like when they
crossed
leave their
before.
feet. Yeah, I thought he crossed, but it was but I do like that the Giants came back the next drive and drove right down the field again.
Yeah.
That's something they were able to do in this game. When they needed to have drives, they were able to get them. And that's something typically you don't see from this team. I don't know, I think they've been upset about how close
Mm-hmm.
they've been, and I think they were really motivated to play a good game. And the draft class is
Question.
playing.
So,
Yeah,
with Neighbors being out, he is in concussion protocol still.
I
He
think
went
it's
to a
smart.
concert like Wednesday or something.
Yeah, but
And
maybe he's not cleared to play, and maybe he's able to do stuff like that.
yeah, and I think Dable handled it. He was like, I'm gonna keep that internally.
I like
I
that. I'll keep it in house. Yep, that's the way to
Yeah,
just
he's
keep it in
like, and
house.
obviously he wasn't fined or suspended. Probably more along the lines. I think he got talked to, and I don't think it's because he went to the concert. I don't think that.
No.
Just be like, hey, when you are hurt and you're going out to events like that and you're showing
Yep.
yourself like, hey, I know you're hurt. I know you're not feeling well.
Yeah.
But you still went out. I'm like, listen, I have no problem with it, but the media is going to ask me questions like that to draw a line between us.
Of course. And he may not have the symptoms anymore. They just might be waiting an extra week because they played so well last week.
Yeah.
And I think the Bengals are a team like Seattle. They have a good offense. They have good receivers. Burrow's a way better quarterback, and they don't have the best defense. So we'll talk about that. But I think that if they didn't play well last week, I think it's smart because
Yeah.
you don't want to have him a career-ending injury. You don't want him to be out the season. You want to make sure that's totally cleared up.
Especially with the whole Tua, situation.
Yeah, they want to give him the extra week,
Yeah.
I think, which is perfectly fine with me, because I think the next game the Giants will have a legitimate shot to win. So I think that now if it was last week, I think it would have been a bigger problem. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to risk it. You don't want I think it's more precautionary because you have a lot of season left.
Yeah.
So let's hope that he could get back on the field next week and get through the protocol. Because
I'm excited because I think we can. I really think we can win. Not just win. I think we actually have a fighter's chance and everything. So with that,
they play that way.
Sorry, something broke into the room.
That's all right.
But 1 second.
Yeah, but not having Neighbors sucks. But I think they proved last week that they're able to still win games even if they don't have him. Obviously, you want to have him in the game, but I don't want to. Like I said, I don't want to risk an injury. But so Neighbors isn't going to be playing again this week, so
Is
it
Singletary
is
coming
what it
back?
is. I'm not sure about Singletary, to be honest. I know there's another injury I want to talk about. Is this the Thibodeau injury?
That could be tibia too. So you gotta be
Yeah,
careful.
he broke a bone in his wrist.
He's already had surgery. He's week
Yeah,
by
he had
week. So
surgery. They say week to week, but it sucks for him because I think he was having a solid season so far. So let's hope that heals.
yeah, but he's
And
not
he's
what
back
he.
in due time.
I like Tibbs. I do, but he's not the number one guy like he was supposed to be.
But
Now
I
he's
think
not
he's been
even the
playing
number
well.
2 guy.
Well, Dexter Lawrence is a beast.
You got
Dexter
the
Lawrence
number one
leads him
guy,
in
and then you got
sacks.
Burns, and then you got Chapman who's getting in there.
I think he's effective. Like I'm saying, he's not like the stud that you want, like a Bosa or a JJ Watt, but I think he's very effective. And I thought he played excellent the last game. So, but it gives Ojulari a shot. It gives some other people a shot on the outside. I think we'll see. Ojulari is the guy who's going to take his place. But I think as a unit they played really well last week. They played some solid football. It's good to see them play a good football game in all three phases. And I don't like the way the end of the game went. I don't like how they drove down the field a couple times. I thought they were in prevent a little bit. Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about this game. But they won, and that's what matters. Simmons with the gigantic play in the end.
I like how they had Dex and the other Wadu. They can't hold him down, but they can get on top of him a little bit and push him down.
Oh, he's a beast, man.
And then having somebody like athletic like Simmons jump the line.
Yeah.
After they were pushed down, yeah, it's a clear lane. And listen, I would do it every time they need a field goal. I would do it until they ban that shit.
Yeah, I would try to do it as long as you don't, push yourself over. If you can make that jump and do it again because you're low, I think Simmons could do it again this year. That's what I would do. I would do that every time. I would jump as high as possible in the gap and just over the line, not directly over, but in between. I think it'll work. I just can't believe he
And if
made
you
that
look
play.
at
That
it,
was unbelievable.
he jumped at the last possible second.
Yep.
Like he had landed and then leapt right back off.
And he ran the kicker over. The kicker got destroyed. Like the kicker, like Simmons just like blocked him and tossed his ass. He got like wrecked on that play. So, but hell of a win in Seattle. Going to Seattle, and it just feels good they have an opportunity to go 500. In the next game, which we'll talk about. But I'm like I said, and give it up for the draft class. Like the draft class is playing well. You have Newman played a really good game. He had 7 tackles. Also, I thought that Phillips had a good game. It's nice to see Banks have a really good game after he had a little bit of a rough start. I thought the whole defense played well. Lawrence played well, having 3 sacks. Like Dexter Lawrence having 3 sacks is awesome. I think that's great. DJ Davidson had 2 sacks.
Yeah. Even after that performance, they still have us losing by a touchdown to Bengals.
Maybe it's possible. They have a good offense, but I think their defense
very good.
sucks.
I just think if the Commanders couldn't do shit against us, but drop 30 on them.
Yeah, I think anytime we play Commanders, it's going to be close. Like I hope we just get them the next time. If we split with them, I'll be happy. It would have been really nice to have that other game though. That's the one game that they really should have had if they fucking had an emergency kicker or just had an extra kicker or like a kick. You know what I'm saying?
Or
you have a
Gillen
kicker,
kick a fucking field goal.
He can't even he can't even reach the landing zone. Like he can't even reach the landing zone. Like that might be the only penalty this year. The only game, the only time, single time that a kicker he's not a kicker, but a sub kicker, a kicker, your secondary kicker can't make the landing zone. It's going to be like the one time all season. So, is there anything else you want to say about the Seattle game? Like, I thought they played an excellent football game. It was closer than I like, but I thought
That
they
gives me
played
fucking heart
excellent.
attacks.
Yeah, but
That's
in
all
this
I
game,
ask for. Because
but the third down efficiency, they were 7 for 16. They had the ball for 37 minutes. The Giants.
what we said was going to be a key to victory: time of
Yep,
possession.
yep, and time of possession is key. And some games the Giants have won the time of possession and not won the football game. So, hell of a win in Seattle. I think it's it's not it's an unexpected win. But that like I said, got an opportunity to go into Sunday Night Football, and we're going to be playing the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bengals.
On Sunday Night Football. I think it's at Cincinnati. Well, is that at home maybe?
I think it's at home.
But it's at home. So, but this game I think is similar to the last game. You got to slow down Chase somehow and Higgins, like those two guys, and they have another. Their receiving core is like Seattle's. Like it's two good receiving cores, and I think that's going to be a key to this football game. Is how are they going to defend their weapons on offense? Because they have an explosive offense. We saw, and they lost a close game. Like they played the Ravens last week,
Yeah.
where they played that same game. Their offense is really good too. I think we could score on their defense, but the key is going to be, are you going to be able to slow Chase and Higgins down because they are good. Like I think those two are better than like Metcalf and their second guy. I think those two, like
Lockett.
this receiving core, I think is also really good, and it's a massive key to the game, and that's kind of what I'm thinking of in this game. I think the offensive line will play well, and it would be nice to have Neighbors in this game. But I'd like to establish the run like the last game with Tracy,
Mhm.
because I think he should be your guy. And what do you think about this game? Maybe we're Sunday Night Football.
I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Danny has a game tonight. I really do. Because I don't like Cincinnati's secondary. And even with Neighbors being out, you have a good burner and a good route runner. And then
Yeah,
Theo Johnson coming out as a target up the center of the scene.
finally
I'm not
used
really
him
worried
last
about
week.
it.
They finally used him, and I'd like to see him involved more because he's a big target. If you get him involved in a little bit, it makes the defense think about something a little more.
Yeah.
What I like about, I think they need to come out balanced. What I like about them with the way their offensive line is, the way they're passing, is that they played a really balanced football game last week, and that's what you want this week. And you want to play with balance, and I would like Jones to be a little more careful when he runs though, because last game he was like running with reckless abandonment, like he didn't care. You know what I'm saying? He took some shots, and I don't really want to see that. I'd like to run the option, but I think you should establish your run game, and I think, like I said, I think they have a legitimate shot to win this game, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think both teams will score in the 20s because the Bengals don't have a very good defense either.
No.
Their front is not bad, but their secondary is not very good, and that's the key. Like our receivers versus secondary. If DJ can play a good game, he can play a good game in all phases. They got a legitimate shot to win this game on Sunday Night Football, get to 500, which would be pretty nice.
Going into week 6 being 500 was a lot better than what I expected.
It's more than you could ask for as a Giant fan, being how bad last year was. Like the way last year went. I don't think, but I noticed they've been playing better in every game. Like, they seem to play, good like in the Commanders game. Then they played a little bit better. Next game they played a little bit better. Then they finally played a full complete game this time, a full 60 minutes. I think for the first time in a couple of seasons, maybe since that Minnesota playoff game. It's probably the best game they played since then as a team overall.
This game really reminded me of like the Ravens game of that same year.
Yeah.
Where the defense just showed out so much that we were never out of it.
Yeah. They haven't been out of. They've been in every game besides one game, so they are competing. They are staying within striking distance. Just some things in games like losing Cano, some things not going right in the Dallas game. which sucks. But at least we didn't lose by 40. I'm still pissed we haven't beaten Dak, but maybe we'll beat him next time. But I think that getting to Burrow is also going to be key. And I don't know how they're going to stop Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is an animal. Like, he's an absolute beast in the middle. And he's going to be a problem for them.
Dude, he grabbed Geno with one hand and threw him down.
Yeah, like Dexter Lawrence is like he's one of the, if not the top defensive tackle in the NFL right now. 7 sacks in 5 games. Like, that's pretty outstanding from him. He's just a force in the middle.
He's a force, but he also, like, when he goes after your legs and you go to run away, like, he takes that leg out with his arm. Like, he's fully gone. Like, that's what I was watching. I'm like, he's not shoelace tackling. Like, oh, they're stumbling and going down. No, like, he's sweeping their feet out from under them.
Yep, and that's the best. That's one of the best picks that him and Thomas are two of the best picks that Gettleman made.
Mm-hmm.
It's like at least he drafted a guy, Dexter Lawrence. Like, he was right on that one, and right on Thomas. So it's good to see at least a couple of them work out.
Considering Thomas is the best guard or that best tackle out of that draft.
Yeah,
Wirfs has been hurt. Yeah, he's got a Super Bowl, but he's been hurt. And Mekhi Becton's been really hurt. He has.
Yeah, he's injured all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's injured all the time. So, but like I said, I'm excited for Sunday Night Football for once. And the Bengals are going to be really looking to rebound because they're a 1-4 football team right now. So they're going to be playing with some desperation, I think. And it's always tough to play a team like that. But I don't think that the Bengals defense is very good at all. And they came close to a win, and they've given up 25 points, 38 points, 24 to the Panthers they gave up. They gave up 41 to the Ravens. So that's actually a lot of points scored. That's way more points than we've given up. So that's the one thing, the matchup for us. I think our offense is a really good matchup versus the Bengals. Their defense is not very good at all. So isn't that wild? They've given up 24 points or more in every game. 26 to the Chiefs, 38 to the Commanders, 24 to the Panthers, and 41 to the Ravens. So that's why
we're dropping 50. We're more talented than that.
So I think we could score 28, maybe 30 points on this team. Like, that's how much your defense has struggled. But obviously, you got to play a good game still. You still have to play well. And that's the matchup of this game. Their receivers in Burrow versus our defense, and how Bowen's going to call this game, and our offense versus their defense. If you can't score over 20 points on the Bengals, there's something wrong, I think.
Also, the Bengals have never beaten the Giants away.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, they're 0-4 playing us at MetLife.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And but like I said,
we're one of 2 teams they've never beaten away.
That's quite interesting. So you would say they're due, but I think the matchup for the Giants, if they had neighbors, I think I think they would win this game. I think I could say more confidently because their defense wouldn't be able to stop neighbors. But Slayton is good. Slayton's gaining some confidence. It's nice to see Jones finally throw a deep ball well.
A couple of teams have called it for him.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Slayton can help a lot of teams. Slayton can help a team like the Chiefs easily.
That's what I think. That's what I heard.
But I'm not trading Slayton. Like, if they beat the Bengals, go 3-3, you're not trading anybody. You know what I'm saying? When you're 3-3, you're in the thick of it. When you're 3-3, you are around that situation where you play well. You're going to have, if you play well and get a couple more wins, you should be making the playoffs possibly.
And not including Dallas got a tougher schedule coming up. So do the Eagles. Now, granted, the Eagles got the Browns coming up, but still, I can
But
see
we
them
have,
losing to the Browns.
but we have the Bengals, the Eagles, the Steelers, which I think they're beatable. Their offense sucks. The Commanders and the Panthers. So if they could beat the Bengals, say they lose to the Eagles, beat the Steelers, beat the Commanders, they should beat the. I mean, realistically, if they play well, I think they could be a couple games over 500, possibly by the time they play the Bucks.
So Panthers are in Germany.
Yep, 9:30 a.m. But they're better. Panthers is the team they should beat, I think.
I see us being up there. Like they keep improving the way they are. I think they're going to succeed.
If they keep playing consistently and they have another solid game, but I would like to beat the Bengals at least at the 500, because when you start winning football games, winning a game like you won in Seattle, and say they did this, if they could win this game Sunday night, you start to build confidence as a team. You start to play a little different.
Yeah,
And that's what I like. I'll give the coaching staff credit. They were ready for this game last week. And what you want to see is consistency. You want to see the offense have consistent drives, win the time of possession, and play a good game, solid defensively. I like Joseph. I think Joseph is a solid kicker. I don't think he's bad. He missed one field goal and that's it. Everything else he's nailed.
So we already said that we're going to get Tracy, getting him started early. And then our matchups are pretty much, our line's going to eat that line.
I think that the offensive line has a solid matchup, but it's crazy to say that because we haven't been able to say that for years. We haven't and their offensive line is in the top 10, top 15 in efficiency, and that's pretty damn good considering we were last in the league last year and how bad we were. And that just took 3 guys. That's what, like I said, I'll give Shane a lot of credit. They fixed that problem. They finally fixed it. They finally solved it. It's amazing it took so long, but who knows? Next draft, you could draft another good offensive lineman or sign another good free agent to solidify somewhere else. But I think with Van Roten, with Illuminar, with Runyon, with JMS and Thomas, I think that's going to be your line for a couple of years to come.
And I'm glad it is, because then we can, develop guys like the Eagles have. We can develop offensive linemen for 2 years behind these veterans. And then when they're 35, 36, they're ready.
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas ain't out for another contract for a couple years.
Yep.
So
your cap's gonna go up. So like I said, I like what Shane's done with this offseason. I think this is one of his better off seasons because you have Tracy that's contributing. You have Neighbors, obviously. You have Newman, who's contributing. I think Phillips is going to be a damn good player in time to come. You have Deonte Banks getting better. Thibodeau's not where you want, but I still love the pick. I still like the pick. Neal didn't work out. It is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, all right, listen. What if Neal, we pick up a 5th-year option, Illuminor, he does his contract. What if Neal comes back after this and he's ready? He's finally matured enough.
I don't know. That would be Brasillo's chance, but I think when they signed Illuminor is just a more seasoned player than Neal is. He's a vet. He has better technique. He's just a better football player. That's just the way it is. And it's a thing they had to fix this. They had to fix the offensive line. It was so important. And now you see, you fix the offensive line, you're in every football game.
Yeah.
You see that just having a solid offensive line, now just having a consistency there makes a huge difference. And what were we talking about? The trenches. I'm not saying DJ's a world beater, but I thought DJ played a responsible, pretty much mistake-free football game. And it's nice to see him, finally complete some deep passes. And that's why I thought for whatever reason, with Neighbors not in there, the offense played better.
I feel
But
he felt kind of like the Odell situation. He felt a little forced
Yep.
to give him to him. But then again, you're like, hey, I just got that kid hurt because I forced it to him. I'm not going to do that shit again. I'm going to throw it to him if he's open.
Yeah. He's got to be more of the pill and trigger. I hope, like, this last game, I think gives DJ a little more confidence, because confidence is key to make those throws when they're there for Neighbors. He's had some situations where he's had Neighbors and he hasn't pulled the trigger. But I thought, efficiency-wise, they played a real good football game last week, and this is what you want Sunday night. Getting back to 500 is where you want. You want to compete, and I think they're going to go into this Bengals game a confident football team, which is a nice thing to say. And it's not to say they're going to be awesome, but as a Giants fan, as fans, how awful they've been, it's nice to see them. It's nice to see them play confident, mostly mistake-free football in all three phases of the game, and that's what you want to see this next game. Like, if they play consistency like that, I won't be upset. If they play a solid football game all around losing the Bengals, I won't be mad.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But you want to get to 500. If you can get to 500, it'll put you in the ballpark a little bit because your schedule is a little bit easier. Even though I know Washington's getting better, but the schedule is a little, not as strong in the middle. Towards the end, it is, because I think the Steelers are a beatable team. The Panthers are a beatable team. Obviously, I think we could beat Washington. The Eagles, I would love to beat the Eagles. I think they're going to have a legitimate shot to be in all these teams the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, which is a good way to feel, because at that first game, we were sitting here like, oh, God, get the alcohol out.
Oh,
it's
my
gonna
goodness.
Be a rough season.
The first game was mediocre. It was Jones was miserable. What you notice about Jones is he's played better every week.
Mm-hmm. Knock the rust off.
He hasn't been amazing, but he just needs to be consistent. And he has been consistent. I can't say I could put these losses on him. You know what I'm saying? The Washington game, I don't, you put him in position to, I don't know if I can put that loss on him. The same with the Dallas game. I don't know if I can put that. And typically, DJ's the one making mistakes, but it's been more as a team. So, like I said, big game coming up on Sunday Night Football. You got a chance to get to 3-3. It feels really good that they're fixed their offensive line. It's probably the thing I'm happiest about is the offensive line, because you have an offensive line, no matter what you decide to do with DJ, no matter who you bring in there, you're going to be able to protect that quarterback. So, like I said, hell of a win last week. It was awesome to see. Awesome to see him play well in a tough environment. And let's see if they get another win Sunday night, right? Let's see if we can get to 3-3 and beat the Bengals. Yeah. I think it's a good matchup for the Giants. I think it's a solid matchup for them.
For once, going into the week, I don't feel like, yeah, we got a chance, but knowing us, we'll blow it. But then again, I'm going to take the Bengals 27-23, because if I keep going against them, they'll keep winning.
I'm going to say Giants 28, Bengals 23.
That's a solid pick. That's what I was thinking. I can also see 31-23, 31.
I think it could be 31-28. I think it could be 28-24. But I think the Giants are going to pull this out by less than a touchdown. I don't think that's being a homer. I think that it's a good matchup for the Giants. It really is. I think it's a solid matchup for them. The biggest thing you look for is slowing down, their passing attack. That's really the thing I worry about. The run game I don't worry about as much, but their passing attack is really good. Really good. So, like I said, Evan, but yeah, we're going to wrap the show up a little early. We're going to go 45 minutes, and, hopefully, by 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Sunday, we have another win.
Yeah. Like I said, sorry about the late show, guys. We're still working around a new work schedule for myself. Dan's been gracious enough to help me out. But we have other shows on the network that we don't want to take up any of their time. So we'll give them time to prep. But thanks, guys, for coming in. Like I said, go Big Blue. I know. Yep. I think we're gonna have a win this week. I can't hold it. Now, if we lose, you can blame me.
Yeah, it's all right, but but it's possible they could lose a close game. It's been Giants fashion. So, but like I said, thank everybody for watching. Follow, subscribe out of the box sports. So Big Blue Power will be back next week. And I think we might change the day, might change the time. So we'll let you know. So everybody have a good weekend and go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.